The ARV volume indicator, which is available for various platforms on the TradingFinder website. Traders can download the indicator file for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 platforms from this section. And also, to learn how it works and how to use it, they can read this page. From the navigation section, we select the indicator file, and by dragging the file onto the chart, we run the indicator. Once the indicator is running on the chart, an oscillator window will appear at the bottom of the chart, and buy and sell signals are generated from it. The volume RV indicator is a special and practical tool that traders can use. It allows them to run several volume-based indicators on the chart. Additionally, a signal line is also placed on the oscillator, which acts as a moving average. Based on the period we set, it calculates the oscillator values and displays them on the oscillator. When there are crossovers between the histogram values and the signal line, signals are generated for us. Here I am changing the color of the signals and the signal line so that it can be seen better, and the signal line is also set to blue, and finally I click confirm. Here we can see that the moving average line or the signal line is moving upward and has crossed from the zero level toward positive values. This indicates a bullish trend, and when the oscillator values cross the signal line upwards, buy signals are generated. When the oscillator values cross the signal line downwards, a sell signal is issued. Or in this section, we can see that the values were above the signal line, and as the oscillator values moved downward and crossed the signal line, a sell signal was issued, which is considered a crossover point. After that, we see that as the histogram values decrease downward, and the downward slope of the moving average line indicates the start of a downtrend in the market, and when it moves below the zero line, it confirms the downtrend. And here we can see that with a crossover, the histogram values move downward and break through the moving average line. A sell signal has been generated here, which means we can enter a sell position in the market. Or with the movement of the moving average values and the signal line above the zero level, you can use the generated buy signals as entry signals to open a buy position in the market. In the settings section, under inputs, there are options available to us, and in the first input we can specify the number of candles the indicator will review in the chart's history to perform its calculations. By default, this is set to 1,500 candles. In the next parameter, we can choose from 7 calculation modes based on the volume indicators listed here. These modes determine how our calculations are performed and include the indicators AD, BWMFI, Force, MFI, OBV, WPR, and finally volume, which by default is set to Force. In the next parameter, we can also set the reverse mode here by enabling or disabling this option. If this option is set to false, no calculations will be performed. But if we set this option to true, the indicator values will be multiplied by -1 and displayed in reverse on the chart. Here, I set it to true, and you can see that the histogram values become negative and are displayed upwards, and if we set these values to false, you can see the way the values are displayed changes. In the next parameter, we can specify the period length of the indicator's smoothing. In this next section, we can choose the calculation basis from the options provided here, which include close price, open price, high price, low price, median price, typical price, and finally weighted price, which is also listed here. In this next section, we can also enable the display of histogram values or disable it. If you disable this option, the histogram values will be displayed as a line chart. In this next section, we can also specify the period length for the signal line or the moving average here. We can also set the calculation method for the signal line here. You can choose from 4 modes: simple, exponential, smoothed, and linear weighted. In this next section, we can also choose whether to show or hide the display. We can enable the signal line or disable it, and by disabling this option, the signal line will not be displayed. But by enabling this option, the signal line will be shown to us. In the next parameter, we can enable or disable the display of arrows on the chart, which by default, it is enabled by default, and if you select the false option, the signals will not be displayed on the chart. In this next section, we can also set the distance between the signals and the candles. In the next parameter, we can set the size of the signals here. You can set the color of the buy signals and the color of the sell signals to your preferred color. Change them, and finally, in the next section, we can also, based on MQL codes, customize how the markers are displayed as you wish. Change it. So here, based on codes 217 and 218, the buy and sell signals are specified. In the next section, you can also enable or disable the alert notification, which is enabled by default. It is, and for the sake of simplifying the signals, the alerts are displayed as messages on the screen. In the next parameter, we can enable or disable sound alerts. In this next section, we can also enable or disable it. If you enable the email alert parameter, you need to have completed the email settings in the Tools tab under Options. In this last section, we can specify the audio file for the alert here. Well, friends, we've reached the end of the tutorial for this indicator. We'd be happy if you share your comments and suggestions with us in the comments section